Welcome to the ill blur. Matic shoo-be-doo-doo. Oh yeah.
Welcome back to Ill Blur Matic. What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My return subscribers, thank you so much for returning and supporting. It means a lot to me. Also, my new subscribers, welcome to the Ill family. Yes, over here, I'm calling my people the Ill family that support the channel. Let's get right into it. What are we talking about today? The newest fourth installment to this particular Marvel character, Thor Love and Thunder. So, I'm going to give you my positives. I'm going to give you my negatives about the film. The positives that work with this film is the story of Gorr the God Butcher. We learn about who he was before he became the way he was. I love when sometimes they introduce the villain's story off early enough to kind of get an idea of what led to this person going down this darker path as the villain. And we understand Gorr's logic. There are certain things that take place and he's kind of fed up with it, you know what I'm saying? And you can understand why, you know what I'm saying? He's worshipped this particular god. And he feels like he's betrayed by that particular god, too, by the way. I'm not going to explain what happened, but there was a certain type of betrayal, and Gorr pretty much was fed up with it. Okay? I'm not like, oh, okay. Now, let's get into the next thing that I enjoyed about the film. What's the color visuals? I love, like, there are scenes in this film where they're in black and white. I love that aspect of it, and I love the colorful scenes, too. Taiki brings a color palette when you get a Marvel movie. I'm like, yo, this dude right here, he does his thing with color palettes. I'm like, man, this has a 70, 80-ish vibe to it to some degree. It works for the film. The next thing I would like to talk to you guys about is Natalie Portman. Natalie Portman did a really good job being Lady Thor. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, okay, like, I liked that they gave her a nice amount of screen time to her and Thor getting back together, but also them fighting Gorr the God Butcher. I love that they had scenes enough with them, just enough them fighting. Also, I love in this film that pretty much Korg is narrating. He's telling the story to like some other kids about Thor and also Jane. And I thought it was really cool, like how they went with the narration and what Korg would do. And I was like, this is kind of cool in its own sense. I was like, it works. Also, I love how they use Valkyrie and Korg in this movie. I love, like, it felt like we saw them come together quite a bit. And like I said, it was like a superhero, like, buddy adventure type of thing. Let's talk about Thor. I love how they use Thor in this film and like his theme, you know what I'm saying? His theme, like him losing all his loved ones and him trying to find love again, even though it's his ex-girlfriend, Jane. That was really cool, the concept behind that. And also, I love that they didn't use the Guardians of the Galaxy a lot in this movie. That was my one thing that I was worried about. I said, Taiki, don't do it. Don't do it. And I'm so glad that they had their moments in the film, the Guardians of the Galaxy, but it wasn't the entire film. That was my big worry about it. I was like, is this gonna work? Is this not gonna work? Also, what I liked in this film that was very interesting is just learning about the other gods. We see some of the other gods in this film that were very interesting. So we see like the pantheon of other gods. I don't want to say too much about it, but that's what we see. Also, the action sequences. There were a lot of really cool action sequences in this film between also Thor and Gorr the God Butcher. And that was really cool. Also, I love the design that they kind of did with Gorr. It wasn't like Voldemort-ish. I was like, okay, yeah, maybe the new look was a little bit better because we already got a villain that looks kind of similar to Gorr already. That's in another universe of Harry Potter, right? That really played out the way it should have played out. The next thing I would like to talk to you guys about are the negatives for the film. So, the negatives for the film, I I gotta be honest, the story could have been a little bit more executed. You know what I'm saying? The story was good, but I felt like they could have added a little more to it. Not to say that it's a bad film, but I felt like there were certain things I'm like, yo, y'all could have added this to it a little bit more, but it worked. Story definitely was. Also, I felt like this movie should have been more lengthier, like to some degree. Like it should have been like maybe a 2-hour film. I know they chopped it down to a 1-hour film, which is okay. I'm not against that. The other downside to this film is Gore the God Butcher. I felt like we didn't get enough of Christian Bale's character being the villain, Gore the God Butcher, because I felt like, oh man, like I know, you know, they showed his story at the beginning, but I felt like they could have did a little bit more with his character. He was an interesting villain. I'm not gonna lie, he's by far one of my new favorite villains in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. But I felt like they didn't do enough with him. You know what I'm saying? Also, I would like to say with this film that I felt like it was a bit of a letdown. What's the pacing? The pacing sometimes was very odd to some degree. I was like, okay, this is cool, but it gets a little odd. I forgot to mention one thing. Let me explain this too. I love how we learned how Jane got the hammer. You know what I'm saying? Thor's previous hammer. You know what I'm saying? That was in Thor Ragnarok. And also Jane's secret, man. You know what I'm saying? So those were some positives I should have said a while back. But time to like literally give you my review. So I gotta say, I gotta give this movie a B+. Like it kept me, it was a solid Marvel film for what it was. It was over comedic too. That's the other kind. But it worked out. You know, it kept my interest. I liked the story. Also like the similarities between the two, the hero and the villain, Gore the God Butcher and Thor. And also it deals with loss too to some degree. But this is your boy Illblurmatic, guys. What did you think about Thor Love and Thunder? You tell me in the comments, guys. Your boy Illblurmatic, guys. Thanks for commenting, thanks for liking, and thanks for supporting. And also, I would like to hear y'all reviews on this movie too, not just mine. So until next time, guys, have a great Monday, and I'm out.
If you made it to the end of the video, you are the real MVPs. Oh, yeah.